Well, if the Republican base is having trouble turning out its base for the 2016, for the special election this year, failure to fulfill its promises might be part of that. Congressional Republicans have repeatedly promised to defund Planned Parenthood. That hasn't happened or even come close to happening. Even now, the country's biggest abortion provider gets more than $500 million taxpayer dollars every year. Would Democrats be okay if the NRA got $500 million a year? Would they let that stand? Congresswoman Diane Black is a Republican representing Tennessee. She is, of course, opposed to this completely, and she joins us tonight. Congresswoman, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Tucker, for having me on.
So you've said many times on the record, and you seem like one of the more sincere Republican members on this question, that you're opposed to giving $500 million to Planned Parenthood, which is basically just an adjunct to the Democratic Party. Why hasn't the Republican Congress defunded it? Specifically, why?
Tucker, that goes over to the Senate. Twice now, with my leadership, we have passed in 2015 and in 2017 a measure in the House, sent it over to the Senate, and they have not done their work. I will challenge anybody that's watching this show that's pro-life to call your senator and ask them where do they stand on this issue, because we have done our work in the House. They need to do their work in the Senate.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't even think you need to be pro-life or opposed to abortion. I am. But even if you weren't, you would say, well, Planned Parenthood is part of the Democratic Party. Cecile Richards, who ran it until recently, spoke at the 2016 Democratic Convention. They're getting $500 million of tax money involuntarily from the rest of us to campaign for Democratic candidates. Well, I mean, how is that even constitutional?
Well, they shouldn't even be using their money for that, but they do raise additional dollars through the communities, and that's fine if they want to spend their money that way, but we don't need to be having taxpayer dollars going to abortion, period. The end of that. And as a matter of fact, if you look at the Title X dollars, you'll see that they were set up for family planning. Abortion is not family planning, it's family destruction. And so we should not even be giving them a single penny if they're doing providing abortion. So my defund plan.
Right, and it's a self-reinforcing loop. They lobby to keep their funding in place, so they keep getting funding. It's infuriating. So, but why wouldn't the I mean, if that's the way we're going to do it, if you're going to figure out a way to get taxpayers to pay for one of your biggest political supporters to campaign for you, then why aren't Republicans saying the NRA, which trains a ton of law enforcement and military, trains everybody guarding our nuclear power facilities, for example, why don't they get $500 million a year in federal money to do the good work that they do?
Could you just imagine that? Could you imagine the uproar by the left if we were to be doing that? I mean, this is ludicrous. And my bill simply says, look, if Planned Parenthood really wants to provide the services that they say they provide, and that is true family planning without abortion, then do so. Separate your abortion from your regular family planning. And then, you know, you could get those dollars. It makes sense.
Course.
But I simply say take them away from them until they can show that not a single dollar in their clinics are being used for abortions. Neither are they giving money to those organizations that provide abortions.
Yeah. I mean, that is a key Democratic plank. That is maybe the invaluable Democratic plank. Abortion equals happiness. And I just don't think that's true. And I don't think most people do
Chuck, I want to
either.
give the president a shout out on this, because we were able to, through the Congressional Review Act, the CRA, to be able to overturn an Obama rule that said we in our state of Tennessee, which I was able to do before I went to Congress, to make sure that none of our dollars were going to Planned Parenthood or abortion clinics, that we were able to do that in our state. There were 11 states doing this already. Obama took that right away, and I want to just say thank you to the president who signed a Congressional Review Act that gave us back that right in Tennessee to make sure that our dollars are being
for that,
used
but let's cut off the $500 million from the rest of us. That would be nice too. Congresswoman, thank you.
Thank you for having me.